'Cause baby, like, ooh, it's all another flower lay. The sun goes around the state. Can't wait for the long day. 'Cause baby, like, ooh, it's all another flower.
Welcome back to the channel for all things fermented, brewed, and distilled. In this video, I'm going to talk about a wonderful opportunity I had to go to India to develop some gin recipes. So, let's get to it.
She come to stay. 'Cause baby, like, ooh, it's all another flower lay. The sun goes around the state. Can't wait for the long day. 'Cause baby, like, ooh.
So you may be wondering how I got the opportunity to travel to India. So what happened is someone watched one of my YouTube videos and they reached out to me because they saw I had worked a lot developing gin recipes when I was in the UK. And they wanted to develop some gin recipes for their distillery in India. His distillery there is very established, but they mostly focus on making whiskey, which he was telling me is the biggest seller in India. And then a small portion of people will drink rum and gin. No one really knows about gin or drinks gin or knows what it tastes like, but he saw the gin boom in the UK and he wanted to get on that and start producing more gin in India. So after speaking for a few months, he said, okay, you know what? I have decided I actually do want you to come over here and help develop some gin recipes for us. So we agreed on a price. He booked me a plane ticket and I flew to India, Bhubaneswar, India. I've spoken with other distilleries before where we've talked about me traveling there to do some distilling consultation work, but it's never panned out. So even when I was talking with him, I was kind of like, in the back of my mind, I was thinking that it was going to be like all the other times and it wouldn't work out. But this time it really happened, and I got to go to India. And I was very scared because I don't know anyone in India. Even though I'd spoken to this person, Rahul, for a few months, that was all through email or WhatsApp. We did do a video call a few times, but I was still scared going there all by myself. But I thought, you know what, I'll just take this risk. I got on the plane, got to Delhi, waited 5 hours at the Delhi airport, and then took another shorter flight to Bhubaneswar, India. And Bhubaneswar is the capital of the state of Odisha, and the state used to be called Orissa, and it has a lot of temples in it. It's a very religious place. It's very jungle-like over there, super humid. I couldn't stay out for 5 minutes without my clothes feeling like they were soaked through. My plane got to Bhubaneswar at about 9 or 9:30 p.m. at night, and I was picked up by Rahul, and I was very nervous getting into the car. I felt, okay, this is the moment of truth. Hopefully everything is on the up and up, because if it wasn't, then I would be in India by myself, and it would be a pretty dangerous situation for me. But luckily, everything turned out fine. I'm here to talk about it with you. When I got to Bhubaneswar, they greeted me with a really nice home-cooked meal. And you can see this is the view from the house. And there's just cows everywhere, randomly walking around, which I thought was really funny. This is so funny. Hi, I just got into Bhubaneswar. It's 10:39 p.m. right now, and I'm staying at one of my boss's houses here. So this is my room. Boop, boop, boop. And there we go. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go to bed now, and I'll continue vlogging tomorrow. Good night. And I didn't know this before I got there, but I also had 2 assistants who helped me with the gin recipe development process. So my assistants were Shailendra, who is the manager of the plant, and I also had Prem helping me, who's a mixologist, and he's competed in the One World Bartending competition. On my first day of work, I was driven to the quality bottling plant, and they gave me a tour of the facility. And they employ a lot of women as well for their production line, and you can see they're bottling some of their Old Monk rum. So while I was there, I never actually got to go to the Boudh Distillery. It was about 2 or 3 hours away, and the roads weren't very good to get there. And so we never had time for me to go get there. But I did all my recipe testing at the quality bottling plant, where they had a testing room there and with a little mini still set up so I could do all my work and all the experiments. So we had a nice little copper still in the sensory analysis room that was connected to a propane tank, and every time we would have to light a match to get the flame started. Also, for the stills cooling water, we had the water inlet and outlet hoses connected to the sink, which was a little bit inconvenient because every time we would have to be very careful when we were walking in the room so we didn't step on these hoses and get water splashing everywhere, which did happen one time where the hose got loose and then water started splashing all around the room and we had to mop it all up. I'm surprised it didn't happen more than, I think, just the one time that happened. Before I got to India, Raul kept asking me what supplies and equipment they should prepare for my arrival. So I searched up some Indian gins and what botanicals they were using, and I saw a lot of interesting things. There's chiku, which is sapodilla in English, and it's a very creamy tree fruit that has a kind of malty flavor to it, and I got that freeze-dried.
So this is called the chiku in Hindi. Okay.
What is it in English?
So there is no name. Sapota.
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 Okay.
So this is very tasty, and this is the seasonal fruit in India. So we got it in dehydrated parts.
Nice. There we go. There.
So it's very like sweet, creamy,
This is your time.
very nice. You can have that.
I did play with that a little bit in the gin experiments. There was no distinct flavor from it, so I didn't do too many test distillations with the chiku. I also asked for kokum, which is a plant in the mangosteen family, and I love mangosteens. They're one of my top fruits, so that's why I really wanted to work with the kokum. Kokum is very sour in taste, and they use it as a substitute for tamarind in Indian curries sometimes. It also has a super bright red color, so people will often add sugar to it and add water to it to make a bright colored squash drink. I tried using the kokum in several recipes, but I don't think I got much of a flavor out of that as well. I also worked with vetiver, which is a kind of grass that grows in northern India. I used that as an herbal element in my gin recipes, but the gins I made that had vetiver in it were very medicinal-like, and I didn't like the flavor at all, so I quickly stopped using vetiver. The botanical I was most excited to work with was the Gondaraj lebu. I refer to it as a lemon in my videos, but it's actually a hybrid citrus fruit. It has a very intense and beautiful fragrance, and I loved having it in my gin recipes. When we were doing the test recipes, I used the Gondorage Lebu peel in its fresh form. And later on, when we were trying to scale up the recipe with the Gondorage, and we dried the peel shriveled up a lot. So I'm not sure if we'd continue using the Gondorage Lebu when we scale up production, or if we'd switch to using regular lemon peel. But I definitely love the Gondorage, and I hope they continue using that as the citrus element for their gins, because the Gondorage is such a special citrus fruit, and it's very special to India. You can't get it in other parts of the world. So I think including the Gondorage in their recipes would really help their gins stand out among the competition, because there's so many gins these days. A few days after getting there, people were telling me how lucky it was I was able to even go to India, because there was a dispute between the Canadian government and the Indian government at the time, and in response, the Indian government decided to stop processing visas for Canadians to go to India. So actually, if I had waited a little bit longer to go, I would not have been able to even go on that trip. I hope you enjoyed watching the first part of my adventures distilling gin in India, and stay tuned for the second part. In the meantime, you can support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up, leaving a comment down below, and hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already. This is Brewbird, sending good vibes your way. I'll see you next time.